Okay, so when it comes to micro aspiration, we will often do, or even small amounts of aspiration. When we do video fluoroscopy and we note a child, let's say, will tolerate 40 mils for us in a video fluoroscopy, and we notice 3 incidents of aspiration in that time. If it's a young child, then a baby, the child may only need about 120 mils of volume at each feed over the day. So conservatively, we can kind of multiply the numbers of aspirations by 3 up to 9 times, basically, of maybe 2 or 3 mils per swallow at each time. So we can kind of calculate how much a child has aspirated within the video fluoroscopy, and also kind of hypothesize about how much they're likely to aspirate over the period of a feed. But is there any way of us calculating how significant that is? As in, if you aspirate less than 5% or more than 5% or whatever, is that something that we could apply to our calculations around how we make our recommendations after video fluoroscopy, or is it just an impossible task to be able to kind of determine how much aspiration is too much aspiration?
I'm not aware that volume is as much an influencer on aspiration and pneumonia risk as other factors. In general, my thought is that each aspiration acts as a nidus, and it can be a way of introducing bacteria, and particularly bacteria that you don't want in a particular environment, into an environment. So if you've got poor dentition, it can increase the risk of aspiration pneumonia. If you've got a weak cough reflex, meaning you don't sense the irritant in your lungs and expectorate or cough it out, it increases the risk. Similarly, some studies suggest that the pH of what you're aspirating can increase the risk. So there's certain studies now coming out that proton pump inhibitors, omeprazole, esomeprazole, can decrease the acidity of the liquid in the stomach, and as a consequence of that, less bacteria are killed, and that actually increased the risk of aspiration related pneumonias. So I would say less relevant in terms of volume, except obviously large volumes in certain predisposed people. Similar people that have bronchospasm, and I often describe bronchospasm as narrowing of the neck of the balloons or the small balloons in the lung, are more predisposed to getting pneumonia. So I think it's multifactorial as to who gets bad pneumonia based on luck, strength of their cough reflex, their immune system, what bacteria they're carrying, the state of their dentition, and the acidity of their stomach liquids are all factors that influence the risk of developing pneumonia.
So that's a very interesting point that you make about the item that's aspirated almost being a carrier for other bacteria. That isn't something I considered before. I suppose we're always kind of thinking about the bacterial content of the food itself, the food or fluid itself, given that it's not sterile or that it contains lipids and all of those kinds of things. But I suppose I never really considered it from the point of view that you're also introducing kind of external toxins in through the food and fluids. That's an interesting point. Thank you.